You're listening to a community story from Be My Eyes.
My name is Jeff Thompson, and I run a podcast called Blind Abilities. The success stories that we do on blind abilities is something that's very, I know the word inspiring is overused, but it really helps someone, or it may help someone bridge that gap, especially with confidence, to think that I can do it too. Some of my favorite stories are not always that they climbed Kilimanjaro or ran the rim to rim like some of our guests have done, but just the average person trying to transition from high school to college, and maybe they succeeded or they graduated or something, but that was their Kilimanjaro. So it's really exciting to hear people overcoming obstacles and other people may be in that situation. So that's one part of the podcast that we like to do. We like to do demos, and we like to have fun with topics on the news and stuff. We try and cover all the bases. We're not locked up in one spot with blind abilities. We know that there's so many different walks of life out there. All this started way back when I found this audio boom. I contacted the headquarters and they gave me a channel, which was anybody could come on and put input in there into this channel, and it was all audio. And it was really accessible, and it really took off in the United States here. It was really interesting to see people just sharing their ideas and giving advice, and it really took off. All these stories were there, and so with that channel, it started to change because Audio Boom started to change to make money some other different ways and stuff like that. And so I wanted to have more of a solid ground. I didn't like this built on sand. It kept on changing. And so by getting the blindabilities.com website, I was able to start putting out content as a podcast. After a while, it all got rolling and kept growing. And then we wanted an app because we wanted to get the content for the transition students who are out there that may not know how to use an iPhone, but we could have one icon on there that said blind abilities, and by tapping that button, they could get all the podcasts right there and learn how to do the voiceover. Our iPhone 101 series was teaching people how to use the gestures and all that. So it's all available on the site and on the app. Then we got cross iTunes and all the other podcatchers and get it. So it started growing, and over 550 podcasts out now, and it's kind of neat. It's kind of neat to meet all these people. The community is still there, and when I just went to convention, met up with people that I've never met before, but I've known for 4 or 5 years. So over the last 5 years, it's been quite a journey to see where this has grown. We've gotten over 1.5 million downloads. Seems like there's a need out there. One of my first podcasts, international, was when Be My Eyes came out, and Hans was talking about his new app that he had, Be My Eyes. And I remember I just had a small mixer at the time, and I was recording, and he had an accent to it, so it was all new to me. And we recorded this and got it out there, and it was the first one in the United States of Be My Eyes on a podcast. So I thought that was really neat, and I've done some podcasts with him since then. But the app was very innovative. It's like, I don't know, FaceTime on steroids. It's, well, like you could FaceTime someone that's a friend or something, but they work or they're busy doing things. But here was this volunteer group that was available. That was kind of shocking to me, that these people would want to volunteer. And back then it was fairly new, and over the years, you keep following Be My Eyes, and now they're up to 2.5 million volunteers. Who would have thought that? And I believe it's 140,000 users of the app. I don't know if it feels good to be a volunteer, but I'm sure it is, because 2.5 million people cannot be totally wrong. They're staying on and assisting. And when I was out in Las Vegas at the convention, I turned Be My Eyes on, and within 12 seconds, I think, I don't know, there was someone ready to respond. So it's still going strong. It's a great app. When using Be My Eyes, it's not like I'm doing major things. It's like I got a new Keurig machine, and I wanted dark coffee. I wanted it all set up. So it just opened it up, and the volunteer just looked at the screen and had me hit a few buttons, and within 3 minutes I was drinking coffee, and it was the dark roast. So it was neat to be able to use it for these small things that you need when you need it, and it's there. You know, certain apps are on your phone, and I have like my front page stuff. Then I have stuff that filters back. But Be My Eyes is right up there because it's something that when I need something, I can just tap on it and it opens up. And like I said, within a few seconds, I'm talking to someone and I'm moving on. So it's available to me every day, 24/7. I can just move on instead of waiting or having to call someone or looking something up on Google or something, because the information that I'm looking for is right in front of me. I just need a set of eyes to get it. And so Be My Eyes is one of those apps that just allows me to move forward quickly. If someone found my phone, they would find these folders that have all sorts of like OCR readers. Be My Eyes, you tap on it and you got the information there. I don't have to aim as much as like an OCR reader, and I can just get that information. Especially one time, I don't know what other app would have done it. There was this loud noise coming from my backyard area, and here my neighbor had a land moving machine. It's called a Caterpillar, and they were bulldozing some stuff. And I just turned on Be My Eyes and the person said, "It's a cat." He says, "Not four-legged, this thing's moving land." So it was really neat to have that information come back to me just like that. I use a lot of audio equipment, and sometimes there's switches on the back of the microphones, or there's wires that I have to connect up, and I can try and do an OCR, but I'm gonna have, I can't really aim it. I can't drill in on that specific thing, So one of the things that I use Be My Eyes for is exactly that. I just turn it on. The person's there. We start on the left to right and they tell me. I get a good idea of what it is. I'll put a bump marker on there and I know exactly what it is next time I go back there. So whether it's electronics, woodworking, or any other things that I just need to know that information that's holding me up, Be My Eyes is there. We want Blind Abilities to be found by everybody, and first of all, you can get the app from the Android store or the App Store, and that's Blind Abilities. That's 2 words, Blind Abilities. And if you have a podcatcher of your choice, just type in Blind Abilities, do a search for it, and you'll find it. We also have a skill on the Amazon devices. All you have to do is say, Enable Blind Abilities, and there's a skill there so you can listen to all the podcasts right on the Amazon devices. We're at blindabilities.com on the web, Blind Abilities on Twitter, and you can even listen to us on the Victor stream.
Thank you for listening to this community story from Be My Eyes. You can share your story too. Send it to mystory@bemyeyes.com. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, download our app, or visit bemyeyes.com/community-stories for more.